All right, everybody. It's been such a funny day. I hope you're all staying warm. I think like every state in the United States is under like 60 degrees except Florida. So if you live in Florida, we're all jealous of you. If you live anywhere else, I hope you're staying warm. I'm super grateful that you guys are here for day 3. Again, I've turned off my camera to fix the audio. It's been 10, 15, 18 degrees in Kentucky. And so I wonder if that has messed with my internet a little bit. So we have the Facebook group, Authentic Boss Entrepreneur. It's open so you can post your gamification questions for day 3, and super excited. You'll get the most out of this when you share about your business and ideas and ways to do more with gamification. And some of this might be a review for some of you that have been before, for you gamification lovers, but information leads to inspiration. So as I share these things, definitely let me know how I can serve you guys more. And we're going to dive in. Let's go. So we're talking about gamification and what you can expect when you gamify. This is a little bit of a review. I want to tell you a little bit about myself so you know where to go for gamification. And we're going to dig in, right? You guys know that I'm a wife. I'm a mom to 3 boys. I gamify my life. I'm currently gamifying my fitness and fat loss, not weight loss, fat loss. I went a whole year without buying fast food. If it had a drive-through, I skipped it and went home to eat. I went a whole year without buying clothes or shoes. Leah is here. She's actually doing this year. And I wonder if she could probably go longer than a year, because so far it's been really easy for her. So there's been a lot of different reasons why I've gone on these little gamified adventures. Currently, I'm pushing my podcast every single day. We're on over, 650 episodes. So almost, 2 to 3 years doing that. So I really feel like there are so many ways that we can level up in our life by finding ways to gamify it, right? And gamification is a known science and strategy to get results for your clients, okay? So some of the reasons why gamification works: it increases the customer engagement, right? When they have something to look forward to. And people are not going to scroll past your content because they're going to know who you are. We're going to skyrocket conversion rates because people are going to become accustomed to you. Customers are going to become loyal fans. And the cool thing about this is that it does spread brand awareness and brand loyalty, right? When you have those badges going around, or when you are rewarding people for taking action, okay? But there are some problems with gamification if you don't know what you're doing. And we're going to focus on some of them, right? Inside, before gamification, 3.13% of people complete their course in 2017, 2018, okay? So that means that every year, the number of people that are actually doing coursework and implementing the things they learn online is going down and down and down. So it's really important to know that like there's problems in online learning, and we know that the info space, selling your information online, it's not going to go away. It's only gotten stronger in 2020, and it's going to continue. So you want to jump in to be able to start selling your knowledge. And if you can gamify it, woo, buddy, you are ahead of the game, okay? So that's a big number, right? It's a very small number, but it's a really staggering stat to understand that 97% of people aren't even going to open things, okay? So what can we do to increase those open rates? Like, someone buys something from you. Yeah, it's great. It's money in your pocket, but really, like, it's money one time. But what if we can get people to give you money every month, right? That's why we gamify. So we're going to look at what gamification is and what it is not, because if we can emotionally motivate people, we are going to win every single time, okay? Gamification is motivating people on an emotional level. It's figuring out what makes them tick, what's going to get behavioral change, and going for it. And this is the best part, because a lot of people say like, oh, I want my business to hit this much in revenue. And at the end of the day, your end user, your client doesn't care about what you're making in your business, right? But as you focus on your end user's goals, you're going to make more money. That's a really great thing about that. And I think I always use parenting analogies, but there's a lot of people that live their life. They create experiences for their kids because they're living their life through their children. We know that's really unhealthy, right? But if we can focus on our kids' goals, it's going to make us feel like better parents. It's the same thing with business. Focusing on end user goals instead of your own business goals will actually amplify your business goals. Okay. So gamification can align those goals into one. And that's the brilliant thing about this. And no one's really talking about this. People think that gamification is for specific problems, but really like getting people results is going to bless your business so much because it's going to increase the customer loyalty, the brand advocacy. People are going to be like, I love Tammy, I love Leah, I love Sarah because they actually get me results when I buy a program from them. Okay. So we've talked about what gamification is not. It is not video games. It is not entertainment. It's not a reward system. You may love Starbucks. You may love Chick-fil-A. I love Chick-fil-A, but they're compensating us to come back. Okay. And they are kind of creating behavioral change. So that could be an interesting case study down the road. Okay. We are focused on emotionally motivating people, getting them to change their life because of the information we gave them. That is what the info space is all about, selling your knowledge online. Anything that you're an expert, if you're an expert mom, you're an expert seamstress, you're an expert, expert Facebook ad specialist, essential oils inside and out. Doesn't matter what you're specialized in, you are chapters ahead of a lot of people out there. And when you present yourself in a way that you have solutions, we can literally find that is the very beginning step of emotional motivation, right? We want to learn from someone who's done it before. We don't want to wade through the dark and fall and stumble and try to figure out or take 20 years to get there, right? So how gamification can increase revenue is, when we talk about that 3% of open rate, one of the best things we can talk about, and we've talked about this yesterday, was gamifying the onboarding process. What type of experience are we giving people when they come into our space, they buy our first product? Maybe it's a freebie, maybe it's a free class, maybe it's an online party, whatever it is. What can we do for the beginning of the process? This particular training, I'm going to focus on selling your information online because I think it is the best way to scale and duplicate yourself. So you will find ways that if you're doing something in person now, it will definitely translate and marry itself to be online. So one of the best ways that you can start gamifying the onboarding process is introducing them to points, levels, and leaderboards, right? The very first thing you do is you welcome them and you educate them about all the opportunities they have to level up. And sometimes people don't always know the transformation that they're going to the degree of their transformation. But if they're in your space, they have interest, right? They have accepted the first date and they want to see how it's going to go, right? So being able to even incentivize them and give them points for setting up their business or doing what you ask them to do, like they love it. And you'll love it too, because you'll be able to track that. I always say, if you're launching a course and you don't have gamification, it's like launching a course without analytics. You don't have the data to know where people are progressing and where they want to go. Okay. So understanding that is a very simple process, just explaining to them how you want to emotionally motivate them throughout your time together. Okay. Little things people have asked me yesterday, like, well, how do I start the process? Asking them to save your email address, right? And to bookmark the course portal is such a beginning part where now they're taking one more step, two more steps here of commitment to be able to work with you more. And anytime that someone commits, they're giving you their email address, right? So that's a commitment. They're saving your email address. So that's another commitment. And they're going to bookmark the course. So of all the courses that people end up buying, they're going to know where yours is because you've asked them to take this actionable step. What this does is solidifies one more step in the commitment space. I'm going to shut my door real quick. You guys might hear critters, little kids. Let me know if you have any questions. Put them in the chat. Put them in the comments. And it's just this little step that really drives the needle for people to even recognize, like, oh, I'm not just a sales number. This person actually cares about me. Okay. So super, super important. Let me move to the next slide. Thanks for being here, you guys. So this is one of the most important things that people forget when they launch a course. They build an audience, they build an email list. Communicating their goals, not your goals. You don't say, you can say my goal is your goal, but being able to communicate their goals is one of the best ways to be able to help people get progress. So I hope some light bulbs are going off right now. All right, perfect. So communicating their goals first. And like we talked about, right, which can be tied to the end user's desired results. When you tell them, I'm grateful for you to buy this lesson. I'm grateful that you're buying this program. These are the things you can expect. These are the things that you will get out of this. And you can even talk about your next offers that they haven't bought yet in a really simple way where they don't feel like you're being salesy to them, okay? Because we're in the communication business, we're in the problem solving business. So when we focus on their goals and we come at it as a problem solving resource, they want to know every offer that you have. Because chances are, if they have a small problem with one thing, it's a lot deeper, right? Okay, so other ways that you can start gamification with the onboarding process, rewarding them for posting about the recent purchase. You can put that on your thank you page. You can ask them to do that in the Facebook group. You can do Canva templates for Instagram stories where they can say, I just bought this. You can incentivize them. So you want another freebie, post this on your Instagram and tag me. There's a lot of different ways, and people that like to be rewarded will take action, okay? Because it is one of the psychology, human characteristics of psychology. Okay, so I wanted to share with you guys the foundation of gamification that I've created for my clients that have increased their revenue and built a brand that speaks for itself, right? That they already had an existing brand, but they wanted to take it to the next level. So understanding the foundation is going to really give you guys a lot of success in terms of how you want to gamify. So the first foundation of gamification is the PBL method. This is the points, the badges, and the leaderboards. And if you are a Member Vault user, I already know you're in love. Member Vault builds this in for you. You do create your own badge, but it has the capacity to tell you who's participating in your program. When was the last time they logged in? When was the last time they did anything? And it's really powerful analytics because then you can start treating your clients and customers different based on their behavior. And that's a really important thing in marketing, because who's ready to spend a certain amount of money with you, you'll know by how much they've progressed and the things that they've looked at, okay? So the PBL formula is very foundational, figuring out ways to give people points to incentivize them. The next one is actually my favorite of all the frameworks. It's the identity ideology. What am I going to teach them that they're going to step into to create behavioral change? And we're going to dig into this one because it is really, really powerful. The next one we talked a little bit about yesterday, the level up LTV. LTV stands for lifetime value of a customer. So it's great to get one sale, right? We all want one sale. If you've never had a sale, the first time you get a sale, it's super exciting. But the best thing is when you have buyers that come back over and over again. What if there was a way to gamify those sales? Because you are tapping into what motivates them emotionally, you're helping them get results, right? So this part of gamification is to raise the lifetime value of all your customers, not just your diehards. Okay, gamification foundations is the framework to make sure that you are using gamification in your social media, that you're using it in your emails, and that you understand the principle enough that you can use this as a resource to level up your business. So I'm going to talk a little bit about emotionally motivating people with identity shifts, because this is the sweet sauce, right? A lot of people, if you've ever taken a gamification course, which maybe you guys haven't, I'm certified in it. And one of the things that I learned in the certification is they're not really tapping into emotional motivation. And so all my background and my obsession with self-development and human psychology came into play here, because really creating behavioral change is a part of identity shifts. and motivating people emotionally is also a part of identity shifts. So I was very, very deliberate when I was building my framework and getting results for people that I was using principles that were successful. So why identity shifts are essential to motivating people emotionally. You have this inside your business. Everybody, I always say, like, everybody has an alter ego inside their business. They have a superpower. They have something in their business they can pull out. Okay. So as I'm sharing this, I want you to think about the people, what type of results you're trying to get these people. I know yesterday, Kristen, she owns a sewing business. She talked about like launching a one-to-one that's an apprenticeship. That in itself has so much identity ideology in it to really figure out like the badge and even the emotional motivation behind rewarding people for taking action. Okay. So let me just check the Facebook group. Make sure there's not, okay. So Leah says, I think I may be doing gamification already by presenting a pre-test, which they will of course not be able to fill out after the lesson. They have a quiz. They have them compare the two so they can see the progress that they have made. The pre-test excites them because they get a taste of what they will learn. Then they are pleased with their results after filling out the quiz and can see how far they come. That's awesome. And I think, Leah, that's really important to figure out ways to continue to do that, because you'll be able to communicate with them. Now that you've taken this quiz, you are prepared for this next purchase, and this is what it is. And so yes, that's such a great activity that you have as an onboarding thing for them to get to know you, like, oh, you actually care about the information you're giving them, and you're doing it so much that you're giving them a before and after immediately. So that is a huge quick win that checks off the box for gamification. That, you know, and then figuring out how to create behavioral change with that pretest and that quiz is really going to just take it up another notch. So think about, like, what do they get after they get to see the before and after of the quiz, but what other things can you do to incentivize them because they accomplished the quiz, right? So no one, right? I just mentioned this, like, I feel like it's a secret, and I'm letting you guys know because it has blessed my business so much and my clients' business, because it is not used that much. And we're going to talk about kind of the examples to really help it drive home to you. This is one of my favorites, Black Mamba. I learned about it when Kobe Bryant was alive, but since he passed, I've studied his life a lot more. I didn't realize what a big entrepreneur he was and the mindset that he had, but he created, I don't even know if he created it, an alter ego was created for him on the court called a Black Mamba. And it was a sense of excellence that you always did things above and beyond everybody else. There's a story of a basketball game. Before the game, Kobe is in the gym. He's the only one in the gym. An opponent comes in, plays, bounces around for an hour and a half. When he gets to the gym and he sees Kobe in the gym, he's like already soaking, sweaty. And this opponent's thinking like, oh, he must be done. And he finishes his workout. He goes in the locker room, changes, gets ready for the game. He comes back out and Kobe's still playing. And after the game, Kobe Bryant's team beats them by like 35 points or something. And this basketball player says, like, why were you working out for so long? And Kobe said, I wanted you to know that I was willing to do more than you. Oh, you guys, I'm like not that narcissistic, but that's very motivational to see someone take that to the next level. So Kobe went on to create a nonprofit organization and a basketball camp called Black Mamba, or Mamba Basketball. And so he really used that alter ego off the basketball court. And a lot of people stepped into that identity by supporting his other ventures. Another really fun example is Beyonce. She created Sasha Fierce. You guys have heard me talk about this before, but Sasha Fierce was specifically designed so Beyonce could experiment more with the femininity or sexuality inside of music. And she didn't feel right about just doing it as Beyonce. And if you search about Beyonce now, she currently does not use Sasha Fierce anymore because it accomplished the goal that she had set. So there's just little ways that you can help people step into an identity that they didn't have before. And Leah has, she talked about that with having a pre-test and having a post-test, right? Like a quiz. And doing that allows people to feel the transformation, okay? So there's so many examples. If you think of superheroes, you think of their origin story before, and then you think of who they need to become. And then what is that name in your business, right? This is something that our team this is actually my sweet sauce, my genius zone, but this is something we'll come up with inside of your business. And I'm sure you already have ideas of what this could be. The really cool thing about the identity ideology is everybody has an origin story. You have an origin story. I have an origin story. And when we focus on that, people can relate to us to say, oh, I've been broke too, and I don't want to be broke anymore. How can I fix this, right? And it is sharing our origin story with vulnerability and authenticity that people want to become that alter ego that we've created inside of our businesses. Okay. So it's very, very powerful. We all have an origin story and people want to be led by somebody. Snoop Dogg, that's not even his name, right? So like there's people that we just have been calling by their alter egos this entire time. Batman's also an example. He's got a great origin story with a lot of pain behind it. Wonder Woman, right? 1984. Wonder Woman is also an alter ego. I can't even, Gal. I only know the real actress name. So a lot of these alter egos, people will end up being identified by them. If you guys are in the ClickFunnels space, if you are into sales funnels, you will see funnel hacker is an identity ideology, is an alter ego. Okay. It's everywhere. So you can think about it. You can think about all the examples of people that have created something. And I kind of feel like this is, I'm going to get a little religious on you guys. I feel like when we understand who we are, you know, if you think about yourself as a daughter of your parents and like who that person should be. So I put child of God because I feel like that's an identity ideology. Like when you understand your origin, I think that's really crucial. Okay. So the identity ideology is created to create transformations to get people from point A to point B. So Leah used an example inside of her business. She quizzes people, you know, pre-test and then later. So they get that quick win of like a transformation from A to B. So what's the next transformation you can provide from them? Now that they're A to B, B is the new A, right? Anytime we have a transformation, we are now that new normal. And that's what we're doing is not only are we shifting their values, we're shifting their standards. So once you get them results, that's the new normal. And they don't want to go back to the old person, whatever that is, the origin story. It's in the past. They gather strength from it, but it's not who they use to become more in the future. Okay. So there's lots of different types of identities that we step into in our life that should and could create us to be better, right? Wife to mother to wife. Sorry, woman to wife. Wife to mother, mother to grandma. Okay. So understanding that identity ideology is really, really powerful inside of your business. And a lot of people don't talk about it. And a lot of people don't understand the power to just put it in together. So a question from the Facebook group, Mia says, do you recommend creating a new identity or use one that's already out there and applicable? Example, Wonder Woman. That's a really great question, Mia. So Wonder Woman would be copyrighted, right? Warner Brother owns it. So if you're out there promoting a course for money, you're like, become Wonder Woman. They're like, hey, we already created Wonder Woman. It's in a comic book and it's 60 years old. So this is really kind of the sweet spot. Maybe tomorrow we can talk about this more of identity ideology. But Mia, remind me your business because you can find something that really works inside of the business. So anytime, I'm going to actually send you guys through one of my chatbots tomorrow, and you're going to rank at a badge alter ego, and they have different names. And that is the stage of gamification that you're at for your business. And so I've created names around that because I want you guys to all feel really empowered to use gamification inside of your business. So when you're creating an identity, you want it to match your brand and you want it to speak to the end results that you're getting people for your overall reaching of your business. If you look at it at a 10,000, bird's eye view. So Mia, if you comment more about your business, I think you've messaged me and we've had a conversation, but just clue me in real quick on this call and I can totally dive into that. So when you're creating an identity ideology, create something that never existed before. Give your brand identity. Don't give it anything where they confuse it with somebody else. Give it something that as your brand grows, people are like, have you heard of Mia's program? Where you can get da-da-da-da-da. Like that's the point of being able to use authenticity in your brand. Mia, if you have a chance to watch yesterday's call, we dove into a badge that we created for Anna, and she's in this Facebook group, and she decided to gamify her freebie, and everyone calls her Anna Banana. And some of the behavioral change she asks of people is to post in Facebook groups, because that's what she's an expert on. And so she rewarded them with a banana booster badge, and it is so cute. It's pink and it has a banana with hearts on it. And that's her badge. That there is nothing out there like her badge. So like someone copying it, it just doesn't even make sense, right? Okay, so yes, you help teach women home renovation. So there is so many things you can do in this in terms of, I'm sorry, I'm like trying to like this comment and it's not letting me, and I'm so focused on that feedback of like, they click like, that instant gratification. Okay, so home renovation. So there are many steps that people need to go through. They need to understand the foundations of a home before they just start breaking down walls, right? So if you can figure out the framework inside your business, if people are doing a full renovation, if they're doing more aesthetics, that, what are the things that you're going to design and what are the things that you're going to teach them? So some of the words that come to my mind is like architect. So you could be like home design architect, architect of your home. You can give them badges like that. You can do other things depending on what you teach them, to be a master of and so being able to understand where people have transformations. Like if you have a client that had a quick win because they were able to take your knowledge and then go and style their house and stage their house in a way that was pleasing unto them. Like do you use feng shui in your business? Do you use different types of principles of tidying up? So it's like, what are the end results that people are hiring from you? And then how do you gamify that? So maybe it's like beautification masters or home masters, something where, this is the great thing is like, I can tell you, but we'd have to dig deep into your business. I think Mia has a call set up with me next week. If you guys are interested in those gamification calls, definitely can help you. So understanding your business is going to empower you to know exactly what to gamify and how to reward people. And then communicating to them like, hey, you've renovated your bathroom. Now is your kitchen. Like, as you do this, what are the rewards for them? What are the rewards to get them to spend more with you? And I think because you're doing something kind of tangible in their home, you might think about incentivizing certain things that they can have access to. And, once they do this, are they going to share it with their friends? And are they going to want to help their friends? Sometimes that happens in home renovation where people aren't going to hire the actual expert. They're going to show each other how to do it. So maybe the gamification comes in giving people some type of certification where they have permission from you to go out and share it with their friends in certain ways. So there's lots of different options inside of there. So those are really, really great questions. I didn't bring water today. I'm like getting a little bit hoarse. So I think that we are going to talk about, because I only want these to be like 30 minutes long so they don't overwhelm you guys, because gamification can be really, really overwhelming in terms of like, where do I start? Because there's so much goodness inside of it. So I think tomorrow we'll talk about getting people to buy more, right? And so we'll talk about using the call to actions to prepare people to buy more and more again and again. Let me just buzz through these. Yeah, and we'll talk more. Well, tomorrow we'll do the level up and the gamification foundations, and we'll talk about the micro commitments, which we kind of touched on today with the badges and leaderboards, and giving people affirmations and identities to step into, which we've talked about, but we'll go deeper into that. And figuring out what those deeper transformations are. And I think that that's really kind of the sweet spot of understanding how to help people. And think about this, your businesses, like this is why superhero movies have a part 2, because there's conflict and there's more, and that's the value ladder, right? Like how many movies, it's like your movies are your offers. So really, 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 really powerful. Okay, so let me come to the chat. I've been asked to do that. Would love to explore more on allowing others to share with permission at a cost to them. Yeah, totally. Like a robust affiliate program, a certification with perks. You know, maybe you're certifying them once they pass the quiz, Leah, and then you have all these resources for them to go and share it with people. Maybe it's an affiliate program where you pay people out when they bring people to you, if you kind of want to be the big dog instead of just like a referral system. But I think there's definitely options in terms of getting contractual agreements for people to understand how they can level up because you've supported them. And, you know, I'm not saying direct sales or MLM, but there is power in community. We know that. And there's no shame if you do MLMs or direct sales, there is power in community, but there is so much power in creating your own community, right? Even if you do direct sales, to have an identity ideology, to have something that really moves people up your value ladder and then rewards them continually. And Leah, as you said that you've been asked to do that, you can totally gamify that process where now it's more about brand advocacy and brand awareness, where people are sharing your message for you, and then you're compensating them accordingly. So that kind of touches more like on an affiliate marketing theory, but that's definitely something that can be gamified too, which is really cool to think about. So you guys, thank you for showing up. It's been the best part of my day besides shoveling an hour of snow. Okay, yeah, she's not part of MLM, but many of her students are. Yeah, and it's just, and the cool thing about that is figuring out, you know, creating your own freedom within those frameworks of direct sales and things like that. So there's a lot of resources that you can give that people aren't giving out there because you guys are the expert and people are coming to you because you are chapters ahead. And don't ever feel discouraged if you aren't books ahead. No one even cares about that. If you guys have ever seen the movie Catch Me If You Can, it's based on a true story, right? Like Frank Paganelli or something was the con man, and he taught a BYU class a couple times, and the CIA asked him, well, how did you teach this advanced biology class? And he was like, it's simple. I read one chapter ahead before the class started. So you guys are already passionate about what you do. So you already have the potential to position yourself as an expert where people will like, know, and trust you and want to learn more from you. So super great. Yes. How can we watch the replay? I'm going to keep this in the Facebook group for 72 hours. So you can watch day 1, day 2, day 3. And I'll leave it up for a couple days if there's a big need for it. But you can review that. Tomorrow is our last gamification. And then I'm gonna pitch you guys an offer where we can work together on this for the next, 6 to 8 weeks. So it should be really fun. But you will still get a lot of resources if you watch these videos. I've kind of laid it all out for you. Everything else that we would do together is like very customized and personalized for your business, which is where gamification gets its power, because everybody's different, and using your authentic self is the coolest way to do this, because then it sets your brand apart and it gives you more to work with and people just love you for it. So let's see. Good question. Is it too literal to make each badge master of? Kristen, that's a good question. I would want you to think about that in terms of, could someone master it? Could someone master your program? You know, if you believe that they could master it, then yes. But here's another idea for you, Kristen. Maybe it's a certification that leads up to a master's, right? It just depends on what are the things that you're requiring of them, and then how are you going to test their knowledge. So if you are a member vault person, you know that you can quiz people. So you can literally take them through that, and it is pass or fail. So you can prep people accordingly. But you can think about, if masters of hand stitch, if you think that that's it, then that's fine. But as I'm thinking about your business just over the past couple of days, I almost see maybe small certifications that leads up to a master's before they do their apprenticeship. And you can say, and then you can make the names cute of the programs that they're going through, and then it's a certification of completion. Okay. And then you let them know the only way to get the apprenticeship is if you do these 5 certifications, and then people know what to work to. It's college. They want to get the degree. They want to get out. They want to make money. So that's the cool thing with gamification. The next question, is gamification more successful with kitschy names? So I'll tell you guys, I took my personality. I've taken a strength finder test. I don't know if you guys have ever done personality assessments, but there's 34 strengths. And my background, like I always have 1,000 ideas. I took this assessment and my number 1 strength is ideation. So I have so many ideas all the time. That's what makes me a really good business coach, is because I'll give you you'll give me an excuse and I'll give you like 100 reasons ideas to execute on instead. So when we think about catchy names, I really like to have names that people can kind of feel empowered by. And, but then also like, I think I'm funny, but I'm not that funny of a person online or like lighthearted. I'm more kind of like serious and authentic and kind of disarming. Like maybe even a little bit intimidating just because I'm so excited. That's not my intention. But as we talked about Anna yesterday, like Banana Booster, that was like, it worked for her because she uses bananas in her brand. That's like very silly, but like people love it because they love her. So I think you want to name it something you're comfortable with and you're comfortable sharing online, but then also understanding like tapping into, we want to motivate people to do it. And so for something like you, Kristen, I would even like research old names of in the seamstress industry of like Taylor, and like just kind of look up synonyms and antonyms and kind of see like where that's going, because you might see a really fun progression of things that are happening. For example, well, I don't want to tell you guys, I want you to go through my chatbot tomorrow when I launch it. So, but tomorrow or Saturday, I'll go through some of the reasonings for my names. But if you guys have a chance, you can post in this group questions about, what type of names you think would work. And just understanding, that's why I showed you guys the value ladder the very first day, because when you have your value ladder set up, you're going to have a much more clear vision, and you're not just going to gamify one little corner of your business. So in terms of like catchy, it's really kind of case by case. So, but I think your like certification to masters is really, really powerful. So yes, grammar, if you're a grammar nerd, it's perfect. So looking up synonyms and being able to do something where if someone just met you and you say, oh, I have this certification, you can go through and you can work your way up to a master's, they're very excited and they'll probably tell their friends about it. So it's kind of like you want to name it in a way that people aren't like, well, what does that mean? Right? Like for me, my pain point is sometimes people don't know how powerful gamification is, and they think gamification is like video games. So there's a lot of educating that I have to do. And so I want to be able to, when I do my badges, empower people to step into those identities without, not being able to explain it to their friends. So Mia asks, can you talk more about the pre and post quiz? I think that's incredible. Mia, if you reach out to Leah, she's on this thread, and Leah has actually done this firsthand, and she can show you. And Mia, that might be a great idea for home renovations, is to quiz people about like design sense and things like that. There's also quizzes that you can build where people can come out with like an identity of like, you're this type of person, this is what you need. I mean, my dad probably could have used that in the 80s because he painted everything in our house like seafoam green. I think in the 80s it was kind of in. But anyways, after I went to fine art school, I was like, nope, this is out. This is out. So I think that is a really good way for you to onboard people in home renovation. So reach out to Leah and see what she says about like a pre-test. And you're just giving people a before and after, right? You're giving them a quick win to see where they were and where they're going to go. So great questions, everybody. Super, super great. I'm going to hang out and watch for questions for 5 more minutes because we went over, but I love you guys. So it's fun for me. I just should have brought my water. So I will stay in the chat here just to see if you guys have anything else, any questions about what we covered. And anything lingering that I haven't covered and you want me to, then I want you to share it. Now is the moment. I think we're all female on here too, which is awesome. This boy mom needs more females around her. So tomorrow we're going to dive deep into like leveling up and the gamification playbook. Oh, thank you, Leah. Leah, do you have a Facebook group? Also, feel free to PM her, Leah Jacobson, UEOS @gmail.com. Yeah. So thank you. Thank you, ladies. So helpful to be in a community where abundance thrives and we can just share each other's info. So love you guys. Have a great day. Peace out.